Yeah, I don't agree with all of his views for sure, but then again, don't agree with all of the views of Elon Musk or really anyone in life.
Yeah, you can have your own views, Kate. That's legal, you know. It's legal.
That's legal. No, everyone must be cookie cutter same person. You cannot be different.
Bro, it'd be so boring if everyone was the same person. Like, everything would
Dude,
be so dead.
every conversation would be like the frivolous white person conversation. The weather's good today. Yeah, it is good today. I think Trump's a solid guy. Yeah, I also think he's a solid guy. Fucking hell, just kill
I mean,
yourself.
some people might actually like that. Like, the constant validation that they'd get from it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are propped up by confirmation of faith and belief, and it's fucking join you.
See if it works.
Yeah.
Bro.
You
Okay.
always have issues. I mean, it's technology. What can you do? I guess.
I mean, yeah, you'll find it. Bro, I'm a computer scientist. My job is to find and fix issues.
Well, kind of and kind of not.
Yeah.
Different issues than this. Yeah, this is more of a technician's job.
Yeah, bro. Thing is, like, yeah, technician jobs have like a different type of difficulty than just coding.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I did an electrical engineering degree and I couldn't do an electrician's job. So you're not meant to be able to just do their jobs. Um,
Cause it's you can't like there's no bug testing. Well, there is like you just basically do the similar stuff to like coding, like all like problem solving is like okay, isolate the problems, like change like only one variable and then change another variable with all the other variables kept the same and all that, you know?
mm, I mean, um, yeah, it's all problem solving.
Yeah.
I mean, even car diagnostics is similar. I mean, I tried my hand at that.
Really?
It's a pretty similar
Car
process, yeah.
diagnostics? That sounds kind of intense.
Not really.
It's not?
I mean, it depends what you're trying to do. Like, so what I was doing, right, is I saw that my battery was draining, right, and I had a battery issue for a long time. I had a suspicion it was the screen that I had in my car, which was not stock. So basically, what you do is when the car's off, you take a multimeter across it and see how much current is being drawn. And if a considerable amount is being drawn, you can you can work out how long it would take for your battery to go flat with how much is being drawn, right? Because the car
Yeah.
battery is like 60 milliamp hours or whatever. Um, so you can see it would be like flat in 10 hours, 24 hours, whatever, right? So then you know something's draining. Then what you have to do is you have to go to different pinheads, right, and kind of test them. If it's well, basically you unplug electrical components from the electrical box in your car and see if the draw considerably decreases or not. And then it will tell you, well, okay, now it's definitely connected to this. So where does that connect to? Or if it's already connected to the end thing that's causing the issue, just fucking fix it. So that's for
Right.
like battery issues, right? You if your car throws like an engine fault or whatever, and the light comes on, then there's a thing called an onboard diagnostic system, and it's
Mhm.
basically like an external computer you can buy from Amazon for like 300 dirhams or whatever,
Yeah.
that you can plug in and test
Mhm.
and see the different faults that your car through.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and you can kind of see information about it. Sometimes they're descriptive, sometimes they're not. And then, yeah, it's a matter of knowledge, right? So if it was an engine fault and it said that there was a temperature sensor issue here, then either there's an issue with the sensor or there's an actual temperature issue. So why is it a temperature issue? Is it because your radiator is not working properly? Is it because you have low coolant? Is it because your exhausts are fucked? What is it, right? Yeah. So
All
I
right.
have a very strong urge to eat chocolate, man. Luckily, I have no chocolate in my house.
Why? Why you have an urge to eat chocolate, bro? Is it your like
Dude,
before
like,
bedtime snack or something?
I'm always in the mood to eat chocolate, but I don't know, like, I'm craving chocolate now. And it's probably because, like, I'm back to a healthy diet again. My body's like, give me sugar. And I just have to keep on saying no. I think that's probably one of the things I'll probably struggle most with if I have a lot of money is not just ordering in and eating out or whatever. Because the main reason why I don't order food is because I realized how much of my money it was taking.
Lol.
Yeah. I mean, throughout university, I think probably the second biggest expense was food for me, and that's just because I was eating out like fucking
Yeah,
thousands and thousands of pounds.
like what's it called? It takes like a lot of money. You're right.
Yeah, because I
It's
mean, like
actually insane how much it takes.
a single meal is 90 dirhams, right? And that's like on the conservative side. That's assuming you don't order appetizers or sides or whatever. It's just like one meal and a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, 90 dirhams a meal. If you're ordering out often, which in university I was ordering like 2 meals a day out. Um, why not three? Because when I woke up and I was hungry, I wasn't bothered to fucking wait.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
um,
I wouldn't have three. It's too much. Like, even when I'm not in
um,
uni, I I don't think I've ever really like stuck. Like there are some days which I have had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but like I don't think like consistently I've ever really done it. You know, like
hmm.
definitely
Back
not.
in uni, I used to eat 3 meals a day. When I was healthy, I would wake up, have yogurt. When I say yogurt, I mean 500 milliliters, not stupid 25 milliliter type. Proper yogurt.
Mhm.
Um,
A solid amount.
with some dark chocolate flakes. Then for lunch, I would eat either eggs if I was home, or if I was at university, it would be like this. I can't remember. It was some healthy salad thing. It had eggs as well, but it was like not just eggs. Um, and then for dinner, it was chicken, like 300 grams of chicken breast. That was my healthy time in university. That was probably like, what, that was around second year and third year. First year, I was a bloody heathen. And all of my meals were bought from Tesco and fucking, what is it called? I don't even remember its name. Tesco and Sainsbury's. Yeah. You can still hear me, yes?
Yeah, I can, I can.
It's just when you don't say anything, I get confused as to whether I'm not hearing you
Sorry,
because you're
sorry.
not
Yeah.
speaking or
I just didn't know what to say.
just
Yeah, no.
just
The
give a
what's it called?
grunt and be like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yes, yes. Tesco. I mean, is they're pretty expensive though, right? Like Tesco's and Sainsbury's and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, what if you eat ready-made meals from them? It's about £10, which is around 50 dirhams a ready-made meal, um, which is not particularly a large amount of food, nor is it particularly delicious or healthy. So
You're not really getting anything out of that then, huh?
I mean, it's delicious enough as in like it would be like the taste of your average burger or whatever. It's nothing, but yes, as I said, it's nothing to write home about really.
You should do more leet code. I mean, I guess once you're done, like before you're going into a job, I think it really does help.
For when I start to prep for my job search time, I need to do that. I need to do the general interview questions, like get my answers straight. And then I also need to get my fucking engineering answers straight, my data science answers fucking straight. So having a master's degree does not make anything easier.
Yeah.
just, just more questions they can ask you when you fucking do do interviews.
Yeah, like what the problem which you found was in the like it's like top 50 lead code problems asked in interviews. It's like that in that group.
Yeah, but lead code's good. I mean, because I haven't had much experience with Big O. Um, what I've had experience with is just operational runtime, right? So, like,
I
if you
mean,
were
okay,
to
so
put your function in a for loop,
thing
how
is
long does
lead
it take?
code does both. So like it'll tell you the how fast it wants like the time complexity, and then it'll also tell you how fast it'll tell you like in milliseconds, literally how fast it does, you know? Like
Yeah,
after you run it. And obviously a smaller O of n will give you a smaller runtime, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, my thing with O is like, or big O notation is there's no, it's not really an exact way of calculating it. It's
Yeah,
just
because
like,
technically it's just like an average for the algorithm. It's not the exact time complexity.
yeah, I mean, like,
Like it doesn't take into account like let's say like you call like a length of something multiple times. You can just call the length once and that technically takes like less time, you know?
mm. So yeah, I mean, it's quite confusing. At least that's my opinion. But it's a decent way of generalizing, I guess, on how long something is expected to take.
Hopefully I'll be able to get a decent job. We'll see.
You want to do game design, no?
Yeah, I mean, game design sounds fun, but I don't like. I realized that I don't really care too much. Like game design
About to
would be
do?
nice, but like I feel like because at the end of the day, you're gonna end up pretty much doing similar problems. You know what I mean? Like like
Nah,
abstract
it matters quite a lot, dude.
abstractly like no the thing is abstractly you're gonna be doing okay like I need to do a memory check. I need to do like oh sorting this into that or like you know
Yeah, no, right. So I mean, in game design, you get like fun problems, right? So it's like, well, they have inventory, how you create the module for the inventory or whatever, right? If you go into stuff for like um, cinematography and all that crap, then you get stuff like, well, how do you extrapolate the size of that and then create the CGI size for this? And you need to create a piece of software that does that automatically for this other piece of software that you're running or whatever. I mean, that's an older example. That one of my mentors um, in work experience I've done was talking about how he did that for Disney.
oh
Is they
really
needed, yeah, they needed a piece of software that would give you this, like, would resize things so that things work with the real life objects.
right
Um, it had to calculate from the real life objects in the scene that they've recorded in real life and give you the CGI object at the right size. Um, but I mean, like the type of problem also matters because that will also like if you're doing error checking because you have some fucking like sales history database and you have this random connector that does a stupid thing for calling or whatever, and you're doing error checking for that. That's a lot more boring than error
yeah
checking for a space game. And instead of the gun working normally, it's
true
blowing
I
up
mean
random
the
people's heads. You're like,
yeah
what? Why?
the only thing like I'm what's it called like hesitant on is that it would like doing game design can end up
Mm-hmm.
being like there might work me to the bone, you know? Because I've heard it's not like great sometimes with most companies.
Yeah, no, you'll have to find a good company, right?
Yeah, like the thing is, a lot of the big ones apparently like that's why you end up finding so many games that release with like so many bugs. Because it's like the people are just want to like release the games quickly so you can make money, you know?
Yeah, no. So I mean, there are some teams that are better. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, for the longest time when I was younger, I wanted to work for who did Fallout?
Yeah,
Bethesda, yeah.
Bethesda, yeah.
Yeah, for the longest time I wanted to work for Bethesda because they've done. I liked a lot of their stuff.
Yeah. Do you like
Um,
Starfield though?
yeah, before I
Really?
read people's
You
comments
did?
on it, yeah, I was enjoying it. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like, I think people hate on things a bit too much, right? Like, the game, sure, the story wasn't amazing, um, but I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. It's a fucking game. I mean, and a lot of these people, like, I don't know. It's because people are getting older. That's the issue. Gamers are getting older. So
Yeah.
they're taking games way more seriously than when we were younger, and fucking we were entertained by an empty bag of Skittles. Like, fuck.
Yeah, true.
Like, what it takes to entertain us nowadays is just so much more intense, and you need something like fucking um, Elden Ring or whatever, which is insane.
Yeah, that is true. I guess you're right, yeah, about that.
And I mean, things aren't getting cheaper. Production is not getting cheaper. Um, Requirements for these games are not getting cheaper, like on the user side, right? I mean,
That is
laptops are more
true.
fucking
Yeah, yeah.
expensive.
Everything costs like an insane amount. I mean, like
Yeah, so
relatively, like you could say it's like the cost is getting better for things. It's just that the top of the line cost is like insane. But like your average cost for like a gaming PC, I think is definitely reduced compared to like back in the day, you know?
hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, like if you, yeah, producing an olden day game, right, is cheaper, but that's the issue. No one wants an old game anymore.
No, no, no,
You know?
I'm just no, I'm saying like let's say like okay, not like on the user side, right? So like things
Hmm.
like NVIDIA DLSS and like stuff like that have made like improvements in technology have made it easier to run
Oh yeah,
games
sure,
with
yeah,
like an average hardware is what I'm trying to say. If you get what I'm saying, you know?
yeah. It's just nowadays like the top end games are getting a bit insane. Like some games require 30 gigs of RAM. It's like really. I mean, that's not an insane amount of RAM. It's just what the game requires it is insane.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, back in the day, 16 gigs of RAM and your system was good.
Yeah,
Um,
16 is like just the recommended now. I mean, I like having 32 cuz like just having like like couple window like Google browsers open. Like right now my memory usage is 16.9 with the game running and like Google and like
yeah, I mean, if I check my usage on my other PC,
Mhm.
um, what that's yeah, I'm using about 8 gigs for tabs. Then for Destiny, yeah, I'm using about another 10 gigs or whatever. No less. 3 gigs on Destiny. Yeah, 8 gigs on RAM. Yeah. On fucking web pages from Chrome. Chrome is so memory heavy, you know,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
but it has so many nice little features.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, because of Gmail and all this shit, it integrates so well, and you're just like, fuck, I have
Yeah.
to use
I
it.
mean, you know, what's it called? Like the base like foundations of Chrome is actually used in everything else almost. Like it's called Chromium, right? And you know
Hmm.
Microsoft Edge, Opera, and like a bunch of other like web browsers use Chromium. So it's like basically just another version of Chrome. Even though like Edge and like Opera and stuff don't use as much RAM, it still runs on like the base functions that Chrome runs on, which is crazy.
That is. That's very crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking- What are we doing? What's this mission? I'm confused.
Oh, I thought you were leaving. We can do the next one, yeah.
Oh, are we done? Okay, yeah, fucking
I mean,
done.
no, we can continue if you're down. I don't care.
No, no, no. It's late. We can continue to talk, but play more game. No, no,
Okay, okay. uh,
no. No. Um, yeah, and game expenses, dude. Fucking back in the day, you would not have seen $100 game unless you were also getting in-game currency and other shit.
yeah, that is true. I mean, also like I think guess who started microtransactions?
Sure.
It was fucking. I guess it was Bethesda.
Bastards.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like Oblivion or Morrowind, one of those two games, and they released
Mm.
horse armor, and they released it for like $5-10 just to like see if people would pay for like an in-game skin. And ever since then, we have fucking Counter Strike with fucking like basically just gambling.
Really, dude. Like fucking. Jeez, man.
I was trying to tell Mo. It was funny because I was trying to tell Mo, and like, cause he's Muslim, right? And like gambling's
Yeah,
haram. And I'm like, bro,
yeah.
CS:GO 2 gambling, CS2 crates are basically gambling. He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but no. I'm not accepting. Uh,
I mean, dude, the thing is, if you really think about it, like even the stock market is kind of like gambling, you know?
it depends on what level of skill you go in with. That's the difference.
No, but like that's the same as gambling, bro. Like if you go like if you're just an insane poker player, right? You're gambling, but like you're like, "Oh, okay, I know these guys are playing like this. I know like my card has this much like like strength. I can fold whenever I want to, like if you really think about it, it's gambling but just like any type of gambling other than like dumb shit like not roulette, what's it called, slot machines, because all the
Hmm.
chances is put to the slot machine. You have no like input other than play slot or don't play slot, like you
Yeah,
it's
no,
it,
that's like
it's like
very
fixed.
definition of
Yeah,
it.
it's
Like,
like fixed gambling. But like games like
yeah.
poker and stuff like that, like you have like more choice, which changes your odds like by a lot.
Yeah, I guess because it's an incomplete information game, right? That's why it's considered gambling.
Yeah. And like even with like trading, even if you have all the information of past things that happen, you don't have information about the future, like shit, like some crazy shit could happen to the market and then you're just like, you know
Yeah, so technically, yeah, trading is gambling.
Yeah, I was telling Mo that, and he's like, "Yeah, okay." Like we had a long ass conversation. It was in the car when he was
Mm.
driving, and at first he's like, "No way, it's not gambling." And then I started explaining to him like, "Okay, what's gambling and what's the stock market?" And he's like, "Bro, you're right." And then he went to say like he's technically not gambling because he is a copy trader and he just copies. So if I get someone else to do the haram for me, it's not haram. That's what he told me.
I mean, I don't know, I don't know what's the difference between just spending your money on something and accepting you're losing it versus doing something with hopes of gaining more, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean, when it comes to like you're not allowed to do this thing, right? In like religious texts, you got to wonder whether it's I mean, there's obvious reasons. Even in the Old Testament, in the Bible, they said don't touch a dead body and all of that stuff. And it makes sense nowadays because
Right, yeah.
dead
Like
bodies have diseases and you
diseases
need to
and
be
all that,
clean. Like
yeah.
wash your hands before you eat. Like all of that shit is just logical and good for the person. And it's not really got much to do with spirituality. But because it's in
Yeah.
religious text, you wonder if if they're saying it from a different angle and you shouldn't do it regardless of what risk you're actually taking on. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say because I mean technically like if you only spend 30 dirhams copy trading and you went to a movie, you're spending the same kind of money, right? Um, and
But like the movie's
yeah,
not really like you don't have any money to gain out of it. You know what I mean?
I know.
I
I
guess
mean, but
there's a
that's
sense of like, oh, you don't know if the movie's gonna be good, so you might like lose money technically. But like,
I mean, it's a gamble with your time. It's a different.
yeah. Oh no,
But
bro,
that's
everything is gambling. That's what we worked on. Bro, life is gambling.
every life is gamble. You can only gamble in life.
No.
Death and taxes are the only things that are not gambling.
No. Taxes, bro. You're investing in in your country. You don't know if the country's gonna, actually improve its welfare for everyone. You don't know. You don't know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, more the fact that you pay taxes is not a gamble, right? Because the only what is it? The only two things in life that are certain are death and taxes. Is the saying, right?
Oh, right. So it's like that you have to pay taxes, not that what the taxes
Yeah.
outcome is.
So it's
Yeah.
not a gamble on whether you're paying taxes. I mean, it's a bloody gamble on whether you're going to wake up when you go to bed, right?
Yeah,
Don't know
no,
if you're
for
going to
real.
wake up tomorrow. um, so yeah, I mean, if I can, I don't know, man. Life is gamble. Mo just has a mental breakdown.
Yeah, that's literally what it was in the car with him. He was like, "What, bro? No way." It's actually thing is, I feel like CS:GO and stuff like that, like they make so much money off of kids that gamble. Like I feel like like country. Okay, the I think the way that they should do it is instead of banning the game, they should just ban the gambling part for people who are like lower than 18.
Yeah, but that's hard.
Yeah, like getting like actual like age verification is insanely hard. To be fair, yeah.
I mean, what they should do is just ban it unless you provided the age verification, right?
Yeah, like yeah, you're not allowed to play unless you get age verification or something.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense that in poor South America they're not paying the same price.
Yeah, right? I mean, because the thing is, like there was a dude talking about this, and he was saying like that's where like majority of like pirated games and stuff come from is from like countries of lower income. Because like if you have like barely any income and like you're gonna pay like for a game that's gonna like feed you like for groceries for like a whole month, like why the fuck are you gonna buy the game?
Mm.
If you can just pirate it.
You know, I was watching Thor. I don't know if you know of him, but
Yeah, this is literally where I got it from. Thor.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was saying like his game, right? It was mainly being pirated, and then he just decreased the price,
Yeah. And
and
now
then
it's
it
like
stopped.
his a lot of his income is coming from that country now.
Yeah, I mean that does also make sense why a lot of it's coming from the country because like now it's one of the few games that are actually affordable, so people are actually buying it.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, dude,
Uh,
his like talk. I don't. Have you heard his talk about him working at Blizzard?
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
that's what scared me about like video game development. I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean that looking at what's going on at Bungie, yeah. But there's still some decent ones, and I mean, you don't have to be in a big firm to make an awesome game, right?
True, but I also want like money. Like I know I don't care that much, but I want like to be able to live on it and also like in case of emergencies, like.
Yeah, my suggestion to you is that you get a side hustle going. That's probably your best bet. You want some form of passive income.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean the passive income capabilities, I don't know, royalties, trading bots, business on the side, whatever. And when I say passive, I mean I don't mean like 100% passive. That's
S&P 500.
dude.
Dude, I saw this. I don't know if you saw this post. There's this post, and it was like a StarCraft 2 like tournament, and like the top three players get like money, and then the
Mm.
bottom six get like 500 Bitcoin. Yeah, bro. Because Bitcoin was like 50 cents to a dollar a pop, and like the max prize was like 10K, right? So like
Mm.
you get like 500, like $250 worth of Bitcoin back then, but now you just be like rich as fuck, and you got that from losing a StarCraft tournament, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Jeez, dude.
right?
500 Bitcoin?
Isn't that insane?
That's is it is my numbers right? 50 million?
Yeah, something like that. Like
$50 million.
let's see the Bitcoin price. Bit Bitcoin.
It's $101,855 now.
Oh, yeah, bro, it's 373,000 dirhams.
Yeah, so fifty million dollars is 500 Bitcoin.
Mm, only,
Only.
bro, that's almost 200 million dirhams.
Mm-hmm. That if you look at across all time, well, at least from what you can see on Google, right? It's got 101,000% gain.
Yeah.
But that's from when it was at 453. So back when it was like when it started out, it was 0.009 or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, the gain on that is 101,855 over 0.009. That's and then you have to times that by 100 for percentage. It's a 1.1 billion percent increase in value.
That's actually crazy, bro. Thing is, also, I was thinking, do you know how blockchain works?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, I also like roughly know how it works, and basically, it's really good not only for like, I think it's really good for like security, you know, like, because everyone keeps a track of the ledger, right?
Mm,
I was thinking
yeah.
like, what if you implemented that in like a game, like an online game for like anti-cheat? But like, I think it would cost so much for like running the amount of operations. Like it does depend on how many people are playing the game, but like basically have like a blockchain for like player like money slash inventory,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The only
Yeah, but
downside
that
would
would
be the operation time
yeah, because
for
as well, yeah, because the way blockchain works is you actually have to compute um, hashes. Is that what you're computing? Yeah.
yeah.
Um, you have to compute the hashes, and each one is reliant on the previous block. So to decrypt it, I mean, obviously you have to compute all previous blocks, which if you try to do for Bitcoin, it would be impossible today. Um,
Yeah, even a quantum computer like can't do that.
yeah. So, but yeah, but then again, like doing that for your in-game currency,
Might be overkill. The
yeah,
best slash worst anti cheat ever.
yeah, because I mean, the cost of just computation alone, unless you put it on the users, but then
Yeah, bro. If you want to play this game, you
requirements to
need
play the
you
game.
need a fucking Bitcoin miner to play this game. It'd be so dumb. Yeah.
um,
I mean, the thing is, though, right? Quantum computing is becoming like I thought it was going to take a while, but they've actually made quantum computing like operable on like in um in like room temperature. There's like technology that actually works So
Is
you don't.
this Microsoft or Google's one?
I think so. Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because like, yeah.
yeah, it looks like it's becoming crazy good. And like, sure, the problems that they give don't have like real world ramifications yet, but like
Mm.
the architecture they're building is like it's pretty decent right now, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean they're saying like 7 years from now they're going to be able to. Well, you would need a new type of blockchain to not be decryptable.
Yeah, no, I think what's it called? Like you'd want I think wait, I think no, I think even with the quantum computers, the Bitcoin is the only thing that like is still not really decryptable because even with like the quantum processing that they have with 100 qubits, right?
Mm.
It said it'll take like 1,000 something years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, no, but the projection, well, at the current rate of development, they say the projection is in 7 years you'll probably be able to decrypt Bitcoin.
We need like, dude. Thing is, but the main issue, right, is not Bitcoin because most people don't even use Bitcoin. Our banks,
Mm.
like which everyone fucking uses, has encryption that's just ass. Like in relatively like
Yep,
compared to Bitcoin, it's just
exactly.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we need to worry about that before the Bitcoin one because like either we just switch to Bitcoin and then somehow make Bitcoin more like maybe they'll just increase like the hashes or like somehow make Bitcoin even harder to mine slash making it also more harder to decrypt, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. That'd be something cool to work on though. Like if not game development like that, but I feel like I need so much more like knowledge and understanding.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, all I know is I don't want to stop learning because I enjoy learning so much.
No, don't worry. The field you're in is one of them where it's not like you're gonna end up just monotonously doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I stop learning, I won't be of value anymore.
Yeah, nah. Trust, you're definitely gonna be learning,
I'll
bro.
become obsolete.
Like STEM, like anything in STEM is gonna be learning new shit, you know?
Mm.
Like even mathematicians where like math is already like semi predefined, they're like learning stuff all the damn time, you know?
True, true. I mean, some of the math problems nowadays are just insane. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, Einstein, that guy, his equation for relativity added some constant, and that was for the energy permeating the universe that we didn't have an idea of what the fuck it was then, but he knew something was wrong with the equation, right? So he put it in. And then he was like, this makes sense. And nowadays we find fucking dark energy or whatever takes up dark energy and dark matter take up 80% or whatever of all matter.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, you know how a lot of people go like, "Oh, that's just a physics theory. They don't have proof for that yet." I'm like, bro,
No, we've
the
proof.
people
We
like,
got proof.
I'm like, bro, the fucking the people who think about these like equations and like theoretical physics aren't like dumbasses. It's like saying like, oh, bro, like this guy playing poker against me, he doesn't know the hands that I have, so like I'm obviously gonna win because blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, it's not like a dumbass is guessing. It's like a really educated guess. It's different to just
Mm.
a guess, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, the whole dark matter stuff, we have proven that now. I don't know, guys. I mean, they've proven the existence of it, not what it is,
Yeah,
right?
I've actually done a
um,
whole course on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, just from the fact that the the universe was accelerating, right? And it's expanding nature.
And also that
So,
what's it called? Like galaxies don't make sense if you put in all like the gravity equations,
yeah, there's not
how
enough
it
matter
there's
to,
not enough
yeah.
matter to hold it together.
exactly. You know, uh, uh,
Which
the
is like
fact that they,
it's crazy, bro. Like, damn. It's
yeah,
exciting when you find stuff in science that you don't like know. Like I like the feeling of like the unknown. Like I think that's what always drew me to like space. It's like the great like frontier of like of the unknown, you know?
yeah. I mean, that's why I want to get into space work because it feels like the frontier, right?
Yeah, it
When I was
does.
deciding on my master, right, I was thinking neuroengineering, that feels like it's a frontier. Nano engineering, that feels like it's a frontier. Quantum engineering, that feels like it's a frontier. And AI, right? So AI, AI felt like a frontier, but it's been around for a long time.
I mean, like good AI though, like is a frontier.
Yes, I mean we got a massive increase in what appears as AI in 2017 with the release of Transformers and the beginning of GPT and all of this crap.
Transformers? Oh, you mean like AI transformers, not like electrical.
No, not
I
electrical
was like,
transformers.
bro, what? 2017 Transformers, you
Electrical
know?
transformers were founded in the 1800s, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, kid, you
Um,
sure about that? Like
yeah, no,
what?
no, 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 no. So yeah, AI transformer models, right? It's a
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
model. It's
yeah, yeah.
attention mechanisms, all that crap.
Wait, transformer model is the one with like weights, right? Or is that am I
All of
wrong?
them have weights.
Oh, like don't like dumb AI like okay, like a game AI, you know, is technically has
So yeah, there's so AI is broken down. If you think of the a Venn diagram, kind of, right?
yeah.
So you have AI within it is machine learning.
Mhm.
Within and overlapping that is deep learning, and then yeah, kind of separate is reinforcement learning. Those are your three things. AI in general can be just something that seems like it's intelligent. So it can be rule based, so human defined rules. We have natural language processing that is rule based, where you basically say a sentence is a verb followed by a noun, and then the verb is defined as this plus this and this and this and this, and then you basically have a dictionary and you assign these things to each word, and then it can pass language, right? So
Yeah, like there was actually I think I forget this it was Alina or some there was like this AI, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I'm talking about? Like it was like a really
Exactly. Yeah.
shitty large language model basically
Yeah,
that
yeah,
yeah.
that worked exactly like that. I can't remember what this rule based parsing is called, but there's other types of AI like knowledge base where it's like if you know knight A is telling the truth and knight B is lying, and then knight A says this, is he telling the truth? And then you use knowledge, like you just use a
Mm.
whole bunch of knowledge operations where like statistics, right? Um, so there's that. There's also like AI for solving mazes or finding things or graph theory and traversal. Like those
I feel
all
like
are
yeah, mazes,
AI.
graph theory, and like traversal are mainly like what video games use, right?
I mean, even game theory type AI, where like playing simpler games, tic tac toe, whatever.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I've made AI
that's
like that.
technically a
I've
graph
made AI like
theory.
that. Yeah. I think that's like the one of
Um,
the like tougher like out of all the classes I've taken for CS, AI has definitely been like on the upper end of like, oh, this is kind of complicated.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all like that's classical AI. At least that's how we talk about it today. We say that's classical AI.
Mhm.
Modern AI is the neural stuff. Technically, machine learning covers linear models um, as well as other like logarithmic models and all that crap, which are still older than neurons and whatever. Um,
So like wait, are is there anything that's not classical AI but is not using like recursive what's it called? Reinforcement learning?
And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't use reinforcement learning, but I mean, yeah, transformer models, for example, aren't considered classical AI. Um, Technically, recurrent neural networks are not considered classical. Um, Feed-forward networks are slightly classical just because of the neuron was first imagined back in the 1970s or whatever, but they're not
Right.
considered classical because of the back propagation, which was only founded in closer towards the 2000s.
Okay.
Because yeah, the issue is people imagined neural networks, right? They just didn't know how to update the weights efficiently and with the limited computational resources, right? So that's
That
how
is
you got,
true. Like the
um,
computational resources needed for it is also like a big thing.
and that's how you got the Markov, Monte Carlo, whatever chain things, um, and the other models, and you
Yeah.
got the random forest models and all that crap. Um, but yeah, no, so Transformers 2017 was probably the latest advancement. Um, that was widely implemented that caused this huge wave. Now, probably even further than that, the greatest and latest is this thinking AI, um, which basically the model takes in its, well, it produces an answer, and then if you let it think more, it will take that answer, re-put it in as input, and take in the input again and like rethink through the solution,
Yeah.
kind of like a human would. And it's got multiple steps to it. There's statistic representations of the problem that it creates and a whole bunch of other crap first. But yeah, you basically allow the AI to think, and the longer you give it to think, the better the solution. Um, there's that. There's these liquid AI. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, OpenAI, Liquid AI are two different companies, and Liquid AI produces something they call Liquid AI, which is fucking. I mean, the naming sense you got a question. But you know, some of the latest shit is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how like
I mean, yeah, the stuff it can do seems
yeah.
insane. They can. I mean, Google's Sarah, is it? Um, is it called Sarah? Um, AI video generator. VO2 is it, I believe. So I don't know if you know, but OpenAI produced a video generator. It generates like 4 seconds, and that was called Sora, right?
Oh yeah,
Or
I've seen some Sora stuff.
it is called Sora. And like when they were advertising that, like that blew my mind because those videos seemed real. I mean, you could spot things that were wrong here or there, but like that was like crazy that AI could produce that. And then Google, not long after Sora was released to the public, Google produces VO2 or whatever, which completely beats OpenAI um, to smithereens, like just so much better. And I mean, it goes to show that Google's a fucking powerhouse you can't fight.
Yeah. I mean, I think like if like with the rise of like what's it called? Um what am I trying to say? With the AI and quantum computing, like those two things like together would be like crazy good. 'Cause quantum computers like what's it called? They're like kind of like a parallel processor in a way, you know?
Mm.
It's like GPU 2.0.
GPU 2.0. Yeah,
Because
yeah. I
I don't know if
mean,
you know how they work, but like from what my understanding is like they basically like if it solves a maze, right? it'll like
Mm.
concurrently like take multiple paths of the maze at the same time and compute both like paths at the same time rather than just computing one path at a time, you know?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really fucking know how they work. All I've known is that from what I've read is that like there's stability issues, right, with
Yeah, they fixed that
binding
by just
solutions.
adding more qubits. So like what they did was, right? They
Mm-hmm.
they have like 9 qubits, like nine like physical qubits that represent
Mm-hmm.
1 qubit. And what that does is if there's an error in one of the qubits, right?
Yeah.
It'll look at all the qubits together and see what the majority of qubits value is, and then change that one value that's wrong back to the right one, and like basically that'll represent like the right one. So it has to cross like 5 qubits have to fail for that 1 qubit, one like virtual qubit to fail.
It's kind of like the information theory stuff where you fucking have a lot of redundancy built into the packets you send.
Yeah, so there's less errors. Yeah, exactly. So that's what they
Yeah.
did. I mean, it's pretty smart way of doing it. And it's like a simple solution to like the qubit like error thing.
Yeah, very true. But I mean, quantum computing is one of the things I need to read up. And like, dude, some of these topics are so hard to read up on just because of the amount of media fluff around them.
Yeah, no, there it is. Like one of the
It's
things
like,
which I don't I kind of believe this is possible, but this is only like me being like into physics, like the physics side of it,
mm,
rather than like the people who are doing computer science, like the parallel universes thing. Like I was like, okay, like there's a lot of like physicists who believe in parallel universes because of like using Einstein's like relativity and like a bunch of other stuff that like there's a majority like what's it called the idea that there's more of a chance that there is a multiple parallel universes rather than one.
mm,
And like the dude in what's it called in Google or something, right? Who's I don't know, I guess he has to be a physicist in some sense because he's working on quantum computing, right?
yeah,
He's like, bro, like we can't actually account for the computation made in the quantum computer completely because allegedly it's using qubits in another parallel universe to help computation, which is like, what the fuck, bro? What, like what? Which
yeah,
like
dude, I don't
either
know.
either there's like two possibilities. Like either he just doesn't understand like the what they've made well enough, like because it could be a case where like there's always cases of where people make stuff that works but don't know how it works type situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be that,
yeah,
or he's like they've legit just proven like the multiverse by accident, kind of,
yeah, dude, I don't fucking know.
I mean, that's also like we were talking about this before, right? And you were like saying, bro, like they could be if there was multiple universes, the chances of them like coming into our universe would be higher. And this is, I guess, one of your instances of like universes colliding or whatever. Like just but like on the quantum scale rather than like a whole ass person coming to a different universe, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I mean, all what I said really means is that there isn't, well, one of two possibilities. One, there isn't infinite universes,
Right.
uh, or you can't cross universes as a whole, right? One of the two. That's all that statement really amounted to.
Wait,
Not that they,
why can't those be why do those have to be mutually exclusive again? I forget.
well, no. So my statement wouldn't have disproven both, right? It would have only disproven one, or the other,
Right.
right? So the idea that, so if you had infinitely many universes and people could cross into other universes, then you would have had some universe cross over into our universe, and because there's infinitely many, in one of the occasions that it did cross over, we would have all known about it.
I mean,
That's
it
just
could
a
be
fact
like
because you're
a
talking about infinity, right?
yeah, okay,
So,
true. I agree with you there, but the one thing is like, couldn't there be like a spatial issue? Like, so like like a one parallel universe, like distance wise, right? In a parallel,
mhm,
like in like where like in another dimension above this dimension, right? There is a parallel universe next to like let's say it's like 3D for like understanding at least, so like in the cube
mhm.
there's only like what 6 faces, right? You can only like
Okay.
interact with those 6 universes. It could be like a spatial problem, you know?
Well, yeah, no.
Like even if there's like infinite cubes, the one cube can't be connected to like all the other cubes unless it goes through another cube first,
Why
type
not?
situation.
I mean, you're thinking in 3D here. I mean,
Oh,
it
okay, yeah,
could
no, but
be.
even in four-dimensional, like edges still exist. Like even if you go like make it simpler, like you can go like 2D, right? Like there's still like 3D sure
I
like
mean,
bisects the 2D.
in 2D, a square has 4 faces. In 3D, it has 6 faces. So the rate of increase in faces is not the same, or is not linear with the increase in dimensions, right? If you go to 100,000 dimensions, that's a fucking insane amount of things, right? And I mean,
Yeah, but like
the
it's not infinite though, right? Like I'm saying like even though it's like a crazy amount of adjacency, like the connectivity between individual universes would
well,
technically
no, yeah.
still
So
be
what I'm
like
saying
less than
is,
infinite,
okay, what I'm saying is, if there is no issue in crossing, right,
right?
then you can't have infinite many universes. Otherwise, wouldn't it? If there is an issue with crossing, then it is possible that there is infinitely many.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with your statement. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
what I'm saying. That's all my statement was saying, really. I
Oh,
mean,
okay, okay. That
I
makes
have no way
sense.
of disproving them all to you, know, right?
Yeah.
It's just saying, like, either you can't have infinitely many of them, or there's a spatial issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, bro,
What do you
that
think?
like thing is also like I wonder how like physically the the going back to the Google thing, right? I wonder
Hmm.
how like physically it computes with qubits in another dimension. Does that mean like there's another quantum computer in another dimension, or is it you using like a qubit that's on like a random ass planet? That's basically like an atom on a random ass planet is like helping you compute. you know, like
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
right?
I don't know if it's a thing of quantum entanglement, and I don't know. Because, I mean, yeah, the what was it? Electrons here, some electrons here are linked to some fucking random electrons on other planets. And it's just like moving them here moves them there, and it's technically transferring information faster than the speed of light. So,
Yeah, I mean, technically it makes sense, like, cause wormholes are like theoretically possible, like physics
mm,
wise. So like, it doesn't make too much like it's not like a crazy statement to say like, okay, the information can be passed faster than the speed of light if the space itself is not
is
really
not like, yeah, it's
the,
not actually traveling the distance.
yeah, it's not
It's a
actually having that
different distance that it's traveling. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I
I mean,
don't know.
I mean,
Quantum
thing is,
computing, man.
yeah, like thing is with the like also like with the quantum entanglement, like I wonder if you can entangle more than one part. Like if you find a particle, right, and let's say you want to quantumly entangle it to something else that you have, right? What
Mm.
if one of them was already entangled to something else? So now you're just entangling a random ass particle into the two that you already have as well. Like it chained, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
like
It
if
might
if
be like
that's the
some
case, like
chemistry thing. We can only have a certain number of bonds. I don't know.
yeah, like but if there is a chaining thing, like you could end up with like a quantum computer that doesn't work because it's quantumly entangled with some random ass other quantum computer that somehow like you know what I mean? Like you just have like errors for like you're like why is this happening? And then you're like, "Oh, this one's accidentally connected to one in China."
Yeah, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know. You need a PhD for quantum computing and crap like that.
Bro, I wanted to. That's why I'm like maybe semi regretting not taking physics as well as computer science Because like if I went to UK, I got accepted
Mm,
for physics and computer science, like a double major. Like sure, my major would be like insanely more difficult because it's like a double major, but it's also like
mm.
damn, I could be learning some crazy shit, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like, look, there's a lot of stuff I still want to do degrees for. One of them is math. When my professors start talking math, I just think it is so sexy.
Lol.
Not in a homo way, but like just as in like, yo, I'd love to just be able to.
Why do you say homo way, bro? If you fuck some math, I don't think you're like gay. I feel like that's you're more
No,
like
as in
whatever the
I'm not saying like my professors themselves are sexy. I just think like
Oh,
the
right,
math
right.
is sexy, right? That's what I'm
Right.
trying to say. Um, yeah, no, I don't know. Like when they, I don't know. Like if I ask my professor, I'm having trouble training this, and why is it that? And then like he breaks it down. He's like, okay, so well, this is the loss function curve, and this is where you're probably sitting at now. And when you do this, it's doing that. And then if we take this probability distribution and we're looking at this, and then you randomly change it, it's in a different space. It's a non-uniform space, so it does this. And I'm just like, I want to be able to think like that in math. Let
Lol.
me think in math.
I mean, the thing is with me, right? I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I really like math, but only when
Mm.
it intersects with like stuff like physics or like computer science. And like the annoying thing about that is that you could have like
Yeah.
pure stuff that's pure math, right? That ends up being used in computer science or physics, but for some reason just because I'm interested in physics and computer science more, like I'd be 10 times better in the question just because of my interest in that math,
Mm.
like, you know?
Fair enough. But I mean, I'm sometimes just interested in math by itself. Like I love infinite series. I think they're so awesome.
Okay, yeah, to be fair, there are some cases of like math where I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," but it's not like a lot of the time when you're doing like a math course or something, you don't end up like looking at like the fun stuff, you know? Because either it's
No, no,
like
there's a lot of
too
like boring
complicated
stuff.
for the class, or it's like,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of boring stuff. Something I really enjoyed, but I just never really was good at was Fourier transforms.
Bro, I needed to do so many of them because oh yeah, you did. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we did the same thing. Never mind.
I did a shit ton of them as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
look, I was good at doing the questions, but like that's because you follow like a set formula. It's not there's nothing.
Yeah, thing
Yeah,
is with
it's
engineering, I found that a lot of the time it's like you do use really complicated math, but it's for a very specific problem, you know?
yeah,
Like I was like,
yeah.
bro, like you can understand what's happening, but like to use the same Fourier thing for something else is going to be like insanely hard for me, you know?
Mm. I mean that's the thing. Like they tell you when you start, literally like first year, first lecture, engineering 101. They say scientists discover information about the world. Engineers take that information and apply it to things.
Yeah.
Um, so they really don't care about finding new shit or really understanding the world around us. It's
It's,
really
it's
just
it's
about
literally just make it work, please. And that's it.
yes. Yes. Second lecture, they say politicians will tell you what to do, and your boss will give you a certain budget to do it in that doesn't make sense. So, and the politician's only going to be there for about 3 years. So by the time you're ready to complete what they gave you to do, they're gone. And you will get a new directive from a new politician.
Bruh.
That was the second lecture. Um, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Engineering's different, right? And it's just
Yeah. Bro, assembly, dude, you know there's this dude, right? He wrote uh an entire like Chrome browser, like a copy of Chrome in assembly.
Good lord.
Yeah, I was like, huh? What?
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
technically, it's possible, obviously, because how.
that's what how high level languages work. Like it converts it
Yeah, they
into
convert it to
assembly.
assembly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hard coded it in assembly,
That's insane, dude. I
right?
wonder if it's more efficient than normal Chrome or not.
Yeah, because you could find optimization like possibilities if you're doing it in assembly,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
But bro, like when I saw that, I was like, no, like my mind straight went to like, bro, like just a slightly complex thing in assembly is crazy, but like imagine like, oh, I want window size to change. How the fuck are you gonna do that in assembly, bro? Like, like what? You know?
Yeah, such a small thing like in normal code becomes such a massive thing in assembly, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was 5 lines in normal code now is 2,000 in assembly.
Yeah. Like you'd have to
This
think.
memory array you access to do it's fuck.
Yeah, like wait, what's the word for like non-abstract? Like the opposite of it? Like opposite
Non-abstract.
like opposite of abstract. Like you'd have to convert stuff from like abstract ideas of like a window moving to like the word for non-abstract meaning like hard-coded assembly. Like, oh, move this data here, move this data here, pointer here.
Representational? I don't know.
Representational,
Um,
yeah.
I'm looking for similes. Oh, antonyms, sorry.
Concrete, yeah. Representational and concrete, yeah.
Mm.
No, but that's just like a big baller move. Like imagine you go to like a job interview and you're like, "Yeah, I just recoded Google Chrome in assembly," you know. And they're just like, "Oh, okay." This guy is
If
just
I was the interviewer, I would just be like, why?
like I like the
Why?
yeah, like I mean, like I wouldn't believe him at first, you know? Like I'm like, "Okay, you need to show proof because the claims you're making are insane."
I mean, but how do you even prove it, right? Because technically, someone could just write it in a high language, get the assembly representation, and show you that representation.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's like actually proving you've done it is also, I don't know, you'd have to go to a specific thing, be like, yeah, in a normal for loop they would use this, whereas in my for loop I did this.
Yeah, yeah. Or like just a
Uh,
recording or like GitHub because you can't like fake pushes to GitHub, can you?
no, you can't.
Yeah, like a GitHub history file would be like fine, I guess.
I was watching a lecture from the guy who created GitHub or whatever, or one of the guys who created GitHub.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's so interesting listening to why things are the way they are with GitHub, and I don't know. It was interesting. I don't suggest you watch the full thing, but go watch one of the videos. I think
Yeah,
it's
like I
pretty.
think what's it called? The first time I even experienced version control was when we worked for the game development company and they just like explained it and I was like, "Whoa, that's
Mm.
crazy." We didn't even use it, right?
No, we weren't using.
Yeah. Like and dude, the thing is like when I used it in college, I used it for like when I worked in the lab and I was like, "Bro,
Mm.
this shit is next level." Cuz like it also made me feel like really smart because I was like using a command line interface for like
Mm.
everything and I was like, "Oh, bro, I'm like actual programmer now. I'm using version
Yeah.
control. I can like look at what I changed in the past and like if everything
Yeah. No, I
breaks, it's
mean,
okay. We can just go back to the other branch. It's not on the main branch, you know?
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, GitHub's dope. There's so many different things that I have no idea about in it for sure. Um, but I mean,
I
if you
need
have
to
the
brush up
time
on
and you have
my
the
C. I
willpower,
need to brush up on my C though, because if I'm doing it in Unity,
uh, yes. So
I have done C, but like it's been a long time, and I'm like debating on like, oh, if I do C, will I get confused in my interview? Because I'm doing Python, right? As you saw in my leak code, I'm
I
using
can tell you will
Python.
be confused.
Yeah, right.
I
I
tell
would
you
be
for sure.
confused, right?
Dude, using R and Python concurrently, right? There's so many small functions. Like in R, there's a function unique, right, which gives you the unique values in an array or an iterative thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I always think in Python, I'm like, how do I get a unique thing? I know if I'm using pandas, I can get the unique list
Use
from the
set,
things,
bro.
but from a
Set.
I know, but I forget that. That's my issue, right? I forget it, and I'm like saying, unique's not the thing. What the fuck can I do? And then I'm like, okay, cast to a set. Yeah, that's okay. We can do that.
Yeah, like
um,
I definitely feel that. Like even like now when I'm not like even the other languages I've learned are like I'm not using them concurrently just because I learned them. I'm like, oh, I can do this, and I type it in, and it's like syntax error. I'm like, oh, that's another language.
yeah,
That's the
and
one
then
thing
it's
I'm
like,
scared about, bro. In my like in my programming like interview, they're like, what do you want to use? What language do you want to use? I'm like, okay, Python. But like I might end up with this state where I'm like, I know exactly like functionally I want it to do, but I'm like, I don't know the syntax. And like, can I search it up? Like, is that illegal or like, you
can I
know?
search? um, yeah, I don't know. I know for interviews you do. I mean, depending on the type of interview, but they'll do the test separate from the interview, right? So your test is not like, unless it's for a small firm, it's not like you're sitting in front of interviewers and they just asking you questions blank, right?
Mhm.
It's you sit an actual test, an aptitude test or whatever, and then you answer the questions. And if you do good enough, you go to the next stage of interview. Um,
Wait,
and yeah,
really?
yeah, by
No,
the time
cause
you actually,
I have
Mhm.
friends who did like who are in CS and their interview was literally like basically their like the company's own version of Leet Code, and it's just like and they video call you and you just they're like, okay, here's the problem, talk me through how you're gonna solve it and solve it.
the big companies, for these type of STEM roles or whatever, you do aptitude tests, not like sat in front of. I mean, it also depends on how your position is, right? So if you're like close to sea level, you're obviously going to be put through your paces or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but typically you do aptitude tests, then you kind of go into the actual interviewing stage where, and you won't be interviewed by the people actually trying to hire you first. You'll be interviewed by the recruiter, who would then send you to this company, and then they will do the rest of the interviewing if they like what the recruiter has said about you.
right. I just want to like hard be able to just hard code without any help. Which like some of the
Mm,
leak code problems, like after I've done like one or two, I'm like, oh okay, I remember I can use this. I can remember I can use that, and boom, boom, boom. But it's like I
mm,
chose Python because I feel like I've done like out of all the work I've done, like like compoundly, Python I've done the most coding in. Like I think.
yeah,
So then I'm like, okay, like I'll probably be best at Python, but I still like confuse it with like JavaScript and like other random things. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like at first when I went to Python, I typed in like a for loop that was like JS because I just finished my like web development thing. I was like, bro, this
uh,
is not working. How do I do a for loop?
dude. A lot of times I've searched that for the different languages. I was like, yeah, because in uni I did C hash, um,
Right.
or C sharp or whatever you fucking want to call it. I did that, and I did BASIC and a whole bunch of other random shit. But yeah, when I started coding Python again, for my masters, I was like, dude, how do you fucking write for loops? How do you declare variables? What the fuck? I was like, int x. And then I was like trying to assign x, and I was like, this is not
No, yeah,
working.
it's non. Okay, that one I wouldn't do because I remember like by heart if the program is declarative or non-declarative. Because I like, you know what I mean? Like That much
mm.
I remember. I'm like, okay, JavaScript, you have to declare. This one, you have to not declare, or you know?
Yeah, no, and I mean, um, yeah, for loops, while loops, fucking if statements. Good lord, that's different syntaxes. Um, but Python, just the some of the list comprehension you can do in Python is just so neat. I think,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I
It's
really
like,
like about Python. Like slicing is so nice, bro.
mm,
Like slicing, you can say where you want to slice from and where to, and you can add a step, and you can do minus step as well. Like, bro.
exactly. It's so good. Another thing that I often forget is how is what index it starts from. So Python is 0,
Yeah,
but
I had to search that up as well.
R is 1.
I had to search that
Um,
up. I had to search that up, bro. Like also like I had to search that up, and also what's it called? Like the range function makes len go from 0 to the length,
yeah, yeah.
rather
Yeah,
than
good
it just
lord.
being like, you know.
Mm. But the use of the colon operator to get every row or every column, and the -1 is so useful. I mean, in other languages, you have to say, okay, it's from 1 to length of the thing, then this
Yeah,
and this.
yeah, it's just so
And
much
it
more
just feels.
typing, bro. It's so much more typing.
uh, uh, but Python. I mean, and the way that you write for loops in C really, I don't know, it's I semicolon I plus plus semicolon this thing black black. It's like fucking hell, calm yourself.
Yeah, no, the
um,
iterables are crazy for some of them.
but I mean, like the syntax and all of that, fair enough. Okay, that's once you've learned them, it's not too hard to get back. For me, it's the different libraries, right? Remembering the libraries from the languages is just impossible if you don't use them. So it's like going back to C or whatever. I can still do the basic structures, but if we're talking about libraries, I fucking don't know shit.
Yeah, I feel like that issue though is like it's not too bad for interviews because normally interviews they won't ask you to use a library. Like in fact, they'd want you to use like just built-in functions and stuff, you know?
I mean, yeah, if it's just for like pure CS coding or whatever, right? But for data science, for example, they want you to use Keras or PyTorch.
Oh, that
They
is
would want you to
true
use
for them,
pandas and polars, and
like
they'd want you to use.
TensorFlow and all that.
Yeah, good lord, shoot my foot right now.
Bro, I remember using Keras and TensorFlow. The damn, I don't remember. I do not remember the syntax. I'll give you that. I remember
I
using
mean,
it, and then I do not remember the syntax. Like, for the life of me, I cannot.
yeah, TensorFlow and Keras is like easy enough, but when you get to PyTorch, because they're so different,
Oh, I've used
Keras is like
PyTorch. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Keras is modular, right? Whereas PyTorch is object oriented. So it's like when you create a model in Keras, it's quite simple, just like 5 lines or whatever. But in PyTorch, you have to create a whole class. This is a model, then it's got this. You got to use your initializers, and it's like fucking hell, bro. Calm your tits. I just
Yeah.
want to create a simple model.
Thing is,
And
like,
PyTorch, yeah,
yeah, the thing
yeah,
is,
go.
like, I feel like in actual working conditions, though, like, you're never not going to be able to just like Google something. And sure, the person who doesn't have to Google it is going to get that like job done like slightly faster. But I feel
Mm.
like it's not it's most of the time it's negligible unless they're like Googling every single line that they need to code, you know?
Yeah, no, if you're Googling every fucking line, good Lord help you.
Yeah,
Um,
right?
I mean, yeah, at the work job, yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff you've learned you won't need to use. I mean, even from an engineering perspective, a professor was telling us yeah, when you get to your job, you're not going to be calculating Fourier transforms. You're not going to be doing this. You're not going to be doing that. It's all in a computer. You just put in the values, it does it.
Bro, we're the ones who
So,
fixed the computer, though. Oh
yeah,
no.
I know, but I mean, it's like when you're getting stuff for circuits or whatever, and signal processing or whatever. That's what he's talking about. When I mean, it's different when you're doing the lower level work or whatever. Um,
Yeah, Mo's basically told me that. I'm like, do you know about this and this and like how do you end up doing this in like work? He's like, bro, I just put it into a computer, and I'm like, oh, nice.
you know, I mean, like he obviously like yeah, they teach you the theory in university, but at work you just have practical tools to do it for you instead of doing it by hand.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, yo, big up computer scientists for making everyone's life easier.
yeah,
Right? Bro, I feel like
yeah,
CS is one of those things where like fundamentally it's just making a complex problem easier to deal with, you know? Like
yeah.
like all of CS is just like glorified calculator if you really think about it, you know? Like
The
it's like
definition of a computer, really. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a big ass calculator. Like information, bro, no problem. We got you. What format you want that out in? Sound, visual. You want me to like put some effects on it? You want to modulate it a bit, bro? No problem. I got you.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, world has come far, dude. World has come far.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's one of those fields where, like, because of it's just like in like handling information, everything in the world handles information. Like, you know what I mean? Like by definition, everything is has some sort of information attached to it, which is why like you can apply CS to like basically any job or anything in the world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to live without computers nowadays in society, you're basically fucked.
Yeah, if you're Amish, you're done, bro.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that Amish is strange. They're like part of society, but not part of society.
Yeah, cuz I think they can still like trade and stuff with people who use technology, right?
Yeah, they still do trade, but they live in their community because you can't live like fucking an apartment building. You need a key card to get up.
Bro, my religion says I can't use a key card.
Yeah, you can't get in the house. You can't use the elevator. You can't. I mean,
I wonder if
so many
there's
things you
ever going
can't
to
do.
be like a field of work that's going to be more crazily impactful than computer science because like you know what I mean.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Computer science was a culmination of so many different fields coming together.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean
yeah,
fundamentally though, like computer science works on like because even physics has information theory, you know, and
yeah.
math.
Physics has information theory. Um, I mean, it's technically maths.
Yeah, right. Like I mean even how
Entropy
computers
is
like
math too. So,
physically
yeah.
like even like forget the software, even like how it physically works is all just like physics and math, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And since
But I
like
mean, that's the
and
definition of physics. It's what describes our universe.
yeah.
So if you couldn't describe computer science with physics, you'd be pretty fucked.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, the thing is computer science is more applicable than physics because you can apply the physics of computer science to like stuff that's other sciences that physics doesn't cover, like chemistry and biology, right? You know?
mm, mm,
Like you use physical inputs from a detector, but then you the give more information about the detection with computer science, right?
yeah.
Like you see how like blood flows in a thing, but it's just like at base it's just a physics thing. But then computer science makes it give a lot more depth about the information.
Yeah.
Yo, we really are in the information age. Like, I never really understood that statement until like I actually started getting into CS, and I'm like, yo, it's actually crazy. We are in the information age.
Mm. I mean, it's interesting to think about. It's like the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, Golden Age, Information Age.
Yeah, like what age is next? I guess wait, have are we in the space age or no?
I don't think so, not yet. Because I think for that to be the thing, it would have to be like we are a multi-planetary race, and we are
Right? Like, and we have to be like
wayfaring in
mining stuff
space.
in space and like, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, more just actually traveling in space and not doing exploration, right? I mean, exploration, but not really how we're doing it, right? So, like, we've put a person on the moon and then told them to come back, and we're trying to put someone on Mars, but not yet. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have to classify it as interstellar um, travel, or more just when we multi-planetary people, right? So as soon as we have people living on Mars, we could probably say we close to the space age, if not in it, at
Yeah,
the
we're like the
beginning, maybe.
beginning of the space age, like just starts.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say that it can't overlap. I just, the computers are not going anywhere. They are going to be around. Their form and functionality, well, not really functionality, form and how they work might change, but what they do will probably stay constant.
Yeah. The one thing about the future, which I want to happen, is like I want you. Have you ever seen the concept of like solar punk, where like where basically like technology and nature work together? Because like the
Hmm.
Industrial Revolution is where most people say that we went against nature the most. Like sure, like farming and stuff like that was like kind of against nature because we're no longer like hunting or gathering. But like the
Hmm.
like industrial age, we like pollute nature like crazy amounts. We're like basically making nature our just big slave, you know?
True. True.
But like solar
Um,
punk is like the idea, which I really like the idea of, is like, oh, we're working with nature rather than like against it, you know?
hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're slowly moving there as well.
I mean, the UAE is taking big
Um,
strides in that type of deal, you know?
yeah, I mean, we're slowly going there from how we gather electricity, how we build buildings, um, actual architectural structures and form, and we're slowly moving there. But
Oh yeah, wait, I have a question. I've done electrical engineering, but like one thing that I've been thinking about recently is like, so
mhm,
like let's say I have like something in my house that uses an insanely high load, right? Like a lot of
yeah,
power, right?
yeah,
That means that the grid, right, has to provide that power specifically to my house and then goes to my like appliance, right?
yes,
So is there like a upper limit of like the max power that's available to each house due to like the width, like the cross sectional diameter of like the wires that's like providing that power?
yes. There's on conventional um, electrical cables to your house, there will be a physical limit to the amount of power that can be transferred in the cable. Um, not not defined. The cross section or the diameter of the cable, whatever, will determine loss and how hard it is, how much resistance there is in the cable, right? So that will effectively say,
No, I'm
well,
because
yeah,
I'm saying cross section because if you have a thicker wire, it will allow like do they have multiple wires like one for like low power and like a big one for like because if you have like a lot of power, because
Yeah,
I
so
think the voltage is
the
fixed, right? They just increase the current.
no, voltage is not fixed.
Wait, why is everything
There's
say like 240 volt or 120?
because that's you have a transformer. So when it goes from the grid to your house, right? So
Yeah,
here's how it technically works. You have interstate or interregion grid, right? That then breaks into local grid. So that changes form from probably a star connection to a delta connection. And that's just basically how the phases and things are set up, right?
right.
They are optimized for different carrying and different whatever. But yeah, there's a transformer that does that. So there's a step down,
Yeah, that okay. I
um,
understand that much for
and
sure.
then from
Yeah.
your local grid, there's another step down to your house, the transformer, and that transformer there acts as like a sort of breaker from your house to the grid, and the connections are in parallel, obviously, not in series. Um, but so
But so the thing is, with a transformer, transformers don't like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Transformers don't change the actual power in the wire. They just change the current, pretty much, right?
well, yeah, current is linked to voltage, right? So, but the
Wait, no. Okay, current's
I
linked to
I I
voltage, but if
I
you
R
want the
squared. Yeah.
same power, want the you'd want one to. Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, okay. I answer my own question, right? You'd want one to go down and the other one to go up.
Yes, that's how it works. So you go from very high voltage, right? The reason why you have high voltage lines interstate or whatever is because high current means a lot of um,
Heat.
yes, exactly, a lot of heat, and you don't want a lot of heat because that's a lot of energy loss. And when you get down to your lower side, you have higher current, lower voltage because no one needs fucking 2,500 volts in their laptop.
Bro, I mean, not the one I'm designing, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
Not the one I'm gonna use, but yeah, no.
I mean, so
But
wait, the thing is, so like factories and stuff, they use like insane amounts of power. They don't have like an extra step down, do they?
factories that use an insane amount of power. Also, basically, okay, it gets a bit confusing. So it depends on what type of factory you have. If you have a factory that has anything that can change phase in the system, then there's regulations in place that they have to connect themselves differently. But basically, yeah, if you need a lot of power to your factory, then you have a very thick wire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And it's the way it works is you have one thick core, then you have a sheath, then you have many smaller cores with which are wound and twisted around that, and then another sheath and whatever. So there's multiple layers to this wire. It's not so
So the thing is, like,
singular.
what blows my mind is how quickly the grid realizes the need for power. Like, like there are power surges sometimes, and we have like fuse boxes and stuff for that. But like let's say I like activate like 500 computers in my house. Not saying like this is possible, but like for example, like I apply like 500 computers that are all like crypto mining, like
Mm.
the grid will automatically be like, oh, this guy needs a lot of power, revert, like get power to him, you know?
Well, yeah. So basically, what happens is the way that power plants work is they monitor the frequency, right? So the UK is at 50 hertz. Now, the frequency is tied to the amount of energy being used and being supplied. So, if it drops below 50 hertz, you need to produce more energy. If it is higher than 50 hertz, you need to reduce your energy production. Um,
Wait,
and
but so
the
wait, but E is equal to HF, right? Or is that different for um electron waves?
no, it should be the same.
Okay. So wait, but
Um,
if it goes down, doesn't that mean that they need less energy? Like if a lower frequency means they need less energy and a higher frequency mean they need more energy?
no, higher frequency means more energy.
Yeah, higher frequency means the energy itself is more, right? So
Yeah. So
they
as I said, if the frequency is above, they need to produce less energy. If the frequency is below, they need to produce more.
So it is. So the thing is, like, isn't that mean that they try to keep the constant at 50?
Yes, that's exactly what they try and do.
But what if there's like a place that needs more?
Well, no. So if someone starts drawing more, right,
Yeah.
the energy transfer across the system is at the speed of light. So you'll see the frequency drop instantly, or apparently instantly to you at least. Um,
Oh, because it's 50 hertz not to an individual. It's a 50 hertz to
it's
the
to the
grid.
system.
To the
Yes.
grid. Oh, that makes
Yes.
so much more sense that you're saying. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Mm.
But doesn't that mean like there's a lot of power loss?
An absurd amount.
Bro, what the fuck?
um,
I just realized like yeah, isn't that mean like there's like a crazy amount of power loss?
yeah, no, right. So, I mean, nowadays we're pretty good at predicting how much energy people need and things like, so for example, in the UK, you have a lot of hydro dams, right? So, what you do is with your extra energy, um, you would just pump the water back up into the dam, right?
Yeah.
So you're creating this
That makes that yeah.
geo battery, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, so like they know things. They know like if there's a football match, right, and it's a weekend, then everyone's home. Then that means all the TVs go on. That means all the fridges are being used, all the ACs or whatever on, which means that the power spikes, and you can actually see it. You can see it when there's football games on in the UK or whatever. You can see a crazy increase in power consumption. So they prep beforehand. They don't connect. So they'll start a reactor or whatever, but they're not going to connect it to the grid until it's time to start being used. So there
Hmm.
is some amount of time where there's a loss of energy.
Yeah, I was talking
Um,
to this about to like specifically like this topic to one of my friends, and he's like he did straight electrical engineering, right? And he actually
mm,
works in the field of like the power grid, and
yeah,
and we were discussing, and he was telling me like basically the biggest issue with power generation is power storage. Like batteries are
yeah,
just ass nowadays.
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
It's a real big issue.
and like the thing is like apparently I was looking about this online later on as well, and I was like the most efficient battery is just using fucking gravity, bro. Like it's so dumb.
You know, it really is. Like the dams are just is so good for energy. Um, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of smart ideas. They use the extra energy to heat up salt to a crazy degree, and salt
Oh,
does
those
really
yeah, the
well
salt
at
batteries.
maintaining heat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's other ones where they convert water into hydrogen that can be then burnt. So, I mean, obviously, there's loss in all of this, right? There's like the conversion rate between electrolysis and electrical energy is about a 30%, right? So you're losing 70% of your energy trying to do this electrolysis conversion. And then from hydrogen to just pure energy, there's another, you only get about 70% of that. Um, so yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's like the thing with water and gravity is I don't know, it's just really efficient in comparison. But also like that's why like the wind farms, right? They store none of that extra energy. All of that goes to waste. So
Yeah.
what they do is they add priority. So the wind farms, as long as they're producing, they are always on. So you kind of you layer it. It's very smart in how you design your system. But basically, you have a base that produces an amount like a base is your stable energy production. So either coal or nuclear, right? Something that you can keep running, that you can increase output if you need to, but is not going to just randomly stop like renewable energy would. Um, then you can add other buffers that are cheaper but are more or less stable, and then you add things like renewable. And what you do is um, you from these different buffers you produce less, right? Things like a coal plant, you put in less coal, obviously producing less energy,
Right, yeah.
and then you can that decrease in production from there is taken over by the wind farms that you have. And then if you notice a dip in the wind farms, you'll produce a little bit more. If you see whatever, right? But solar, all of that crap, it's all the extra energy it produces that's not
Yeah, because I feel
stored.
like even if like there's crazy improvement in technology in like power generation, like fusion and like fission and all that, but like I was thinking like, bro, like even if we get that sorted, we need to sort out batteries before we sort out that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Energy storage is a big issue. there's no there's no simple solution about it, right? Because the issue is really changing states, right? So electrical to chemical is inefficient. Electrical to thermal is efficient, but thermal to anything else is inefficient. Yeah, I mean, and bar building a super high, massive dam, right?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Like I was talking to this like also I told my friend this who was in electrical engineering, like he was working the guy that was working in like the grid and stuff. And I was like, "Bro, what if
Mm,
they just use like sewage systems from like tall buildings and use the buildings itself as batteries. So like you use like energy right to push it back up to the top
mm,
every time someone needs it, but like every time someone flushes or uses a tap, you just the water that runs down, you have that hit like a little propeller, and it just builds like a small amount of energy, so you lose like less energy transporting that stuff to the top of the building,
I mean,
right?
you could, but
And I was searching this online, and I don't know if it exists. Maybe it exists now. Like I don't know how long. This is like 2 3 years ago that I was talking to him about this.
I mean, there's. I think the issue is
The
pressure.
the pressure.
I think the pressure and the diameter of the pipes. I think that's the main issue.
You could fix pressure by having like a valve that collects like the sewage, right? Sure, this will
Mm,
take a lot more space. Like I wonder if this would be a good design or not. But like so it collects the sewage and like the water that goes to the drain, and then it opens the valve once a certain like weight or like height of the thing is reached. So like like the density is relatively similar to water, and then you could have
I
like
think,
high pressure,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I
That
mean,
would work,
if you're
right?
just looking at why they don't do it, I mean, it, economically speaking, it doesn't make much sense. So, energy production from a nuclear plant and buying that energy is a lot cheaper than you installing it um, and reducing your energy consumption slightly.
Yeah. I mean, like if governments subsidized it, I mean, I'm sure like most governments nowadays subsidize like energy saving slash like environmentally healthy stuff. Like, sure,
Mm.
eventually it'd be a thing. I think, like if you want like an efficient city to work, like a futuristic city that has something like this would be implemented, right?
Yeah, I think I think eventually, I don't know about any perfect batteries, but I think eventually what will happen is that extra energy will all be used, right? So the UAE can use the extra energy for things like desalination, right? Um, but no, I mean, if every skyscraper had a water tank on top and you used all your extra energy to pump that water, stopping the extra consumption from those buildings, yeah, you'd be doing a green favor.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough of this. It's late at night. um,
Oh wait,
You have
Kate.
yourself
Wait, before you
what?
go, it's hold
Right.
on, hold on. Apparently, it's not. It's said. I thought it would be a lot. It's apparently in the U.S. According to Google, the NRDC, the U.S. grid loses about 5% of all electricity generated through transmission and distribution, enough to power all 7 Central American cities 4 times over.
Huh? Say that again.
The U.S. grid loses about 5% of all electricity generated through transmission and distribution, enough to power all 7. Oh, wait, this is only through transmission and distribution.
Yeah, it's the loss in cables. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's also yeah. Cape. Yeah, there's quite a lot of loss there, sadly.
Bro, once they sort out wormholes, like, bro, imagine just wormholing your cable through your energy through a little wormhole in your basement.
Yeah, dude, I'm still waiting for wireless energy days, man. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I mean, Tesla technically found wireless energy, but I don't want to die, you know.
What do you mean wireless energy from Tesla?
Well, wireless electricity, right? So
I mean, technically
Tesla.
that exists. Like, what's it called? Like the phone chargers. I know how that works. Like, it's basically just
So when
a
I say Tesla, I mean like
transformer.
as in Tesla coil and Tesla the Tesla Nikola.
Oh, that dude. Right, right. Not
Nikola
Tesla the
Tesla. Yeah.
company. Right.
Yeah, fuck Tesla the company. What the fuck they do?
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Tesla must be spinning in his grave. He's like, these fuckers stole my name.
Lol. You got trademark
um,
names, Cade, of people.
well, I mean, yeah, they chose that name because of Tesla, right? So the fact that it's now not synonymous with the actual scientist and
Yeah, let me search on Google what
inventor.
comes up first. Nikola Tesla or Tesla company? Yep, the company.
Fucking hell, dude. Poor guy. Um,
It's the last, bro. It's on the first page. It's the last thing that shows up.
fucking hell,
It's
man.
the last thing that shows up.
I mean,
Nikola
that's either
Tesla.
your algorithm, right? Or or actual Google search.
Okay, let me go on a incognito browser and type in Tesla then to English. No, it's the same.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla Wikipedia, the like fucking last item.
Yep. Bro,
Um,
that's crazy. Imagine like 1,000 years from now, someone searches up Tesla, and they're like, "Bro, the company, right?" It's like, "No, the guy, the fucking scientist, bro, that made all this possible."
it's on page 5 million.
Uh,
No, yeah, no, wireless electricity. That's what I want.
I mean, technically, we do have it. It's just a magnet, though.
Yeah, that's not wireless. It's fucking. You have to leave your phone there. I want to be able to walk around with my phone
Yeah, bro. The
and it
only I don't know
charges.
how this is gonna work without wormholes, like with people in between, or like like
I mean,
you're just
even
gonna
if you
get
have wormholes,
fried.
the issue with wormholes, the issue is you like yeah, it's. I'm assuming the wormhole's stationary. I don't assume you can just drag one end of the wormhole around with you. Um,
I mean, I feel like the bigger issue is not the wormhole being stationary; it's the wormhole being powered.
well, yeah, I mean that's why it would have
Like,
to
you
be
know what I mean?
stationary because you
If
have
the
to
if the
power the
problem
fucking
is
wormhole.
power loss, like the amount of power you need for a wormhole being stabilized, probably more than the power you lose from just having a
You know,
wire.
I mean, this is why people like when people say teleportate when teleportation is a thing. I'm gonna like just zip down to the market. Like in all honesty, no, right? You don't have a fucking plane in your yard, do you? I mean, planes have been around for ages now. Not everyone has a plane
Yeah.
because, I mean, yes, it's fast to travel, sure, but more likely there's going to be like a couple in the airport alone, and you're gonna have to pay an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
So